Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be a trying some new makeup. So it's not all first impressions. Some of these products I have tried a little bit, but for the most part, they're still pretty new to me, but they're also newer to the market, and I thought we could try things on together. So I have this Milk Makeup Watermelon Brightening Serum, which I'm super curious about. I just got that. I'm also going to try the CoverGirl True Blend Matte Foundation. You can see the big old foundation box behind me. I was super excited to get this, and I really want to test this out. I also have a new face palette from Morphe. This is the 8L, or the Lo-Fi palette. I have a new eyeshadow palette from Winky Lux. This is their coffee palette. And then I have some new blushes from Kevyn Aucoin that I want to try out as well. These are the Neo blushes that the brand just came out with. So we have a lot to try out today, so why don't we go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so I got my ears on and we are zoomed in. I am going to do my face first. I feel like I have quite a few face products, and the Winky Lux coffee palette is a very kind of like neutral, kind of like a basic palette, I'll say. And so I feel like I'm just gonna do one of my like really simple, kind of like my go-to eye looks that I've been doing here lately, so there's not gonna be too much going on with the eyes. So I am gonna go ahead and start with the face. I really do want to try this out, and I'm very curious about this. So this is the Watermelon Brightening Serum from Milk Makeup. They did just send me a package with this in it. I'm very excited about it because I've been curious about this one. So this is a $36 product. It says it's a brightening and hydrating solid serum stick that will even skin tone. It will reduce the appearance of fine lines and revitalize the complexion for luminous, glowing skin. So let's go ahead and see. I do like quite a few of the Milk Makeup stick products, the matcha cleanser, the toner, the original blur stick I really do like as well, the hydrating oil stick. So this is what she looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply it all over the face. Now this is a serum, so it is considered skincare. So normally I wouldn't do it like this closely to apply my makeup. It's probably just going to go in my bathroom and be a part of my skincare routine, but I do want to. Whoa! That's wild. That was not what I was expecting, but I wanted to try it out on camera so we could get that first impression that just happened. Okay, so it feels very cooling. I mean, it feels like you're putting a liquid onto the skin. Huh. That is super interesting. I don't know why. I was maybe expecting it to be kind of like the, you know, like the blur stick or something maybe, but yeah, that definitely feels, it feels like a hydrating serum, that's for sure. Okay, so once I have it on the skin, I'm just gonna kind of take my fingers and blend it out. So since this is a skincare product, you know, it's supposed to be something that helps the skin as you use it with time. So just reading on the Sephora website, it says people noted an increase of brightness after using it for 4 weeks. More smoothness was reported. Also, people said it made their skin tone appear more even. The skin texture felt better and the skin looked younger. Ooh, that's what I'm going for. So I will just keep testing this out. But like just based off first impression, that was really cool the way it felt. I quite enjoyed that. I don't know if I noticed anything like super crazy right off the bat. I do have 2 ring lights on today because we keep getting like storms and rain and stuff, which is not very fun. My face doesn't feel too sticky or anything like that. It does feel more, like I can tell my skin feels more hydrated. Again, I don't know if I noticed anything right off the bat, but that is the first time I was using that product. So again, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop that one into my bathroom and to be able to try it on a regular basis. Since the majority of these, like I said, some of them I've tried out a little bit, but some will be first impressions. I did a first impression last Friday as well, so I'll come back in a couple weeks and probably just combine those 2 videos and give my reviews on everything. So stay tuned for that. I've just been kind of hanging out for a few minutes, letting that sink in to the skin before I move on to my foundation. Like I said, I'm going to be using the new CoverGirl True Blend Matte Foundation. I did get the big box sent to me, which was super exciting. A huge thank you to CoverGirl. This is very heavy. A huge thank you to CoverGirl. I was so excited when I saw it. And honestly, I mean, this is really freaking cool. I'm going to stand up so I can show you. This is pretty darn cool for a drugstore brand to come out with 40 different shades of foundation. I mean, I'm standing, it's incredibly hard to hold this box. I think that's pretty cool. We don't see a lot of drugstore brands putting out so many different shades of foundation in such a big range. So CoverGirl, I feel like they're doing some really awesome things lately. Alrighty, so here is what the foundation looks like. So it's the True Blend Matte Made Foundation. It's supposed to be a comfort matte and transfer resistant with 12-hour wear. Okay, so it does say it's an oil-free formula. It does have a pump, which is great. So I just got this package in the mail yesterday in the afternoon. So I went through and kind of swatched a few and was trying to find my best shade without swatching too many because obviously I'm going to be doing a giveaway. Hang tight. I just got the package. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet, but of course I'm going to be doing a giveaway with all these shades because I only wanted to swatch the ones that I really thought would work for me because I just would love to be able to give some of these away and let people try out this foundation as well. But I ended up going with the shade L90. So how they broke it down was light, medium, tan, and dark. And then you have the shades in each of those ranges. So this is the last lightest shade, if that makes sense, before we get into the medium, so the L90. Get into the foundation, they also did release new primers. So we have the pore minimizing primer. We also have the color neutralizing primer, which is green. We have an illuminating primer and then a skin smoothing primer. Okay, so I just did the brightening serum, which, you know, is supposed to help with brightening. So I'm gonna pass on the illuminating. I don't really need color neutralizing. I don't deal too much with redness. So I'm between pore minimizing and skin smoothing. My pores don't seem too out of control today, and maybe that was, I don't know if the Milk Makeup one, I don't remember it saying that it did anything for pores, but they don't look too bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the skin smoothing primer and see how I like that. I feel like the serum is all settled into my skin. Okay, so the primer feels nice. It has a scent to it, but nothing like too overwhelming. Feels nice on the skin. It's not too, like, it's definitely more of like a silicone based primer, but it's nothing like too, I don't like it when it's like too much. So far so good, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a few pumps onto the sponge I grabbed out. This is a Morphe sponge. So I just have my damp sponge here. So I'm just gonna do maybe like 3-ish pumps and see how it goes from here. So I feel like it's blending out pretty easily with the sponge on here. The coverage so far looks to be pretty good as well. Shade match maybe a little bit light at this particular moment, but usually once I finish off my face and everything, it all kind of balances out. Okay, so I zoomed in and I have it all blended out on my face. So here is what the foundation looks like. I mean, so far I think it looks pretty good. I can definitely tell that it is more of a matte foundation. It's pulling just like a little bit dry on me. I do have dry skin normally. It's not as bad as it is during the really cold months, but I do still have drier skin. So I kind of notice, like, sometimes with a matte foundation, I just feel like I don't look as, like, I just look a little like flat. Is how I would describe a matte foundation on me, and I feel like that's kind of what this one is doing. The coverage looks to be like a really nice medium. I do have, you know, a few little red marks on my face, and they covered it pretty well, not fully, but I also, that's kind of like the coverage I prefer, because then I just come in with a concealer and kind of hide those as well. I'm not a huge like full coverage gal, so I like the coverage that it's giving me so far. It doesn't look like it's like clinging to any of my dry patches. Like, I've been dealing with some up here on my forehead as well, and sometimes matte foundations around my nose cannot be super cute. I don't notice anything at this time that's kind of like making me angry about it, so that's good. I'll just say, like, it's not my favorite finish for a foundation, but I'm gonna go ahead and apply my concealer and my powder because I don't have any new ones of that, and then we'll come back and see how the foundation's holding up. So I went ahead and applied my NYX concealer. I set it with the RCMA powder. I did not set my entire face. It's a step that I don't do every single day. I considered it because I really do love the CoverGirl Healthy Vitalist powder. It's one of my favorites right now, but since it's not something I do normally, I decided I wanted to skip it and see how the foundation worked through today. And also, if I'm wearing a more mattifying foundation, I typically don't like to put powder on it because then I just feel like I'm too matte and it's like too much. So that's what I decided to do. I also added just a little bit of contour because I'm going to move on to bronzer. Let me grab out this palette here. Contour is another step that I don't do every single day. I enjoy doing it. I like doing it, but I don't necessarily need to do it. But again, when I'm doing something more matte, and again, I feel like my face can look kind of flat, I like to add in contour, bronzer, highlight just to like You know, so I decided to add a little bit of contour. It's just for Makeup Forever, the S112 contour. So I will say, I've been sitting here for a little bit and checking it out. To me, it's definitely very matte. I can tell that my skin looks matte, even without putting a powder on, even using the brightening serum, the smoothing primer. Maybe when I try this foundation again, I'll use more of the illuminating or hydrating primer, and that's a personal preference for me. If you really love matte foundations, so far this is giving me matte foundation vibes. I liked the coverage on it. Honestly, I feel like my pores look really good right now. Could be from the Milk makeup, could be from the primer, could be from the foundation, but I felt like once I put the foundation on, my pores really kind of like blurred away, which I appreciate very much. The shade match, again, I did L90. I feel like it's looking pretty good right now. It doesn't feel too heavy on the skin, which is another thing with matte foundations. Sometimes it gets too heavy. It doesn't feel heavy at the moment, and again, still, I've only had it on for maybe 20 minutes now, but I still don't see it like settling weird into any lines or anything like that. I don't see it caking up weird in any spots. So far so good. I don't know if this will be a personal favorite of mine because I prefer more of a dewy foundation, but we'll just have to go ahead and see. You never know. You never know what you're gonna like. Okay, so moving on, I want to bronze, and I have this new palette here from Morphe. This is the Lo-Fi 8L palette. So inside, this is what the palette looks like. So you do have a nice mirror here, and then you have these 8 different shades. So you have some setting powders, contour bronzers, highlights. So they came out with the 8L and also the 8H. It's the 8H. So this is what the 8H looks like. And so far I haven't dipped into the 8H, so I'm thinking about maybe putting that one in the giveaway that I have coming up. So I'm gonna keep working out of the 8L. I have used this twice now. I've used bronzer shades and highlight shades out of this, and I'm just like not quite sold yet. So I want to give it another try. The palettes are $25. You can find them on the Morphe site, and they are also available now on Ulta. It's $25. I like that you have the big mirror in here. Morphe's rebranding, repackaging. A lot of their items are including mirrors, which I think is great. It feels like a sturdy palette, which is awesome. I will say I couldn't quite figure out the shade selections in both, and I had a hard time choosing which palette I thought would be best for me, and I still don't know if I made the right decision. This Literati shade, I just don't know what I'm gonna do. Again, I do have 2 lights on, so it's showing a little bit lighter, but it's almost kind of like the color reminds me of like a light camel color, and I don't know what for sure I personally would do with that one. I thought maybe Donut could be a contour shade for me, this one right down here, but when I swatched, and I'll go ahead and swatch right now, when I swatched these, because I was showing them on my Instagram stories, it seemed like everything pulled more like orangey, so there wasn't like a good, because look, that's not a contour shade for me. So I don't know. Here are the 4 swatched out. I just don't feel like out of here, I feel like everything's fairly warm, and that's not what I look for in my contour shade. So that's why I went ahead and did my contour already, because I just think that these are probably better off as bronzer shades. So Literati wouldn't work for me. Debutante I think is just going to be too dark for me right now. That's this swatch right here. And I used Enemy the last time, which is right here. That's what I used as my bronzer, and I didn't quite love it. I don't know. Let's just try Donut. I don't know. We'll just give it a shot and see what it looks like. We're just trying new makeup. Hopefully no one expects anything like super wild and crazy here. So let's just give it a try. Okay, I'm already liking that more than I remember liking Enemy. So that's a positive. Going on very smoothly. And I actually really do like that color. Okay. Well, hey, we just had to try again, see? So I am pretty happy with the bronzer out of here. I'm glad that I tried it again. Now I'm going to move on to blush, and I have these new blushes from Kevyn Aucoin, excuse my reach. So these are the new Neo blushes. So I have 3 different shades here. They did send me all 4, but I sent one to a friend recently. These are $38. Here's what they look like. So they each do have a mirror. This one here is in Sunset, which is super beautiful and just like unique to my collection, so I thought that one was really pretty. This next one here is in Grapevine, which is described as a rosy plum blush. And then the other one that I have here, this one is in Pink Sand. This one is described as a soft, dusty pink. You can see the blushes kind of have like this fade to them, and for some reason I'm really interested in Sunset, which is the bright golden coral. I just feel like I don't have a lot like this in my collection, and for some reason it's like, use me, use me. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this one out. I really do like that they have mirrors in here. Kevyn Aucoin, such a quality brand. A lot of hits for me from that brand. Some misses, but a lot of hits. So I'm excited to try this out. I'm just gonna take my Morphe E4. Of course, everything will be linked down below. So I'm just gonna kind of like do that and see what we get. I don't know if that's gonna be flattering or not, but we'll just go ahead and apply to the cheeks. Woo, I can tell right away that it is going to be very pigmented. Okay, okay. Definitely you will need even a lighter hand than I use, so I'm gonna try to go in even lighter on this side and see how we do. This side definitely better than this side. We'll have to go ahead and blend this out. This kind of looks like I got a sunburn. This side I think is very beautiful. It looks very, like, much more of a natural rosy glow to the cheeks. So that looks pretty. And it's almost like, because there's just a little bit of like sheen shimmer in here, it's almost just kind of giving like a glow from within. And I think that's really pretty. So, okay, let me go ahead and do something about this. I'm also gonna do my brows because my camera just flashed, so it's gonna overheat. So I'm gonna work on this side, do my brows, and I'll be back. So I added my brows and tried to blend out the blush as best as I could. Not really surprised that you get a lot of pigment. Like I said, I do like a lot of Kevyn Aucoin's products, especially face products. So not really surprised you're gonna do a lot of bang for your buck with this blush, but I think it looks really nice. I think it just gives a nice kind of rosy glow, maybe a little bit rosier than normal. I still think that it looks pretty nice. These are pricey little guys, but I also like that you get kind of the different colors, and there you can kind of like make your own little creation with each one. But I'm gonna move on to the eyes. So I have this palette here from Winky Lux. This is the coffee palette. So it's $25, and you can also find it on the Ulta website. And this is what the inside of the palette looks like. So it's the cardboard packaging. There is no mirror on it. And then you have these 9 different shades in here. So it is coffee scented as well. Scented. It is coffee scented. And it says it features every neutral shadow you'll ever need. Like ever. No, it really says that. It says 9 shades in matte, satin, and shimmer finishes that will take you from a cup of morning joe to an after dinner espresso. So it does have a coffee scent, but it's not too overwhelming. I've tried the coffee bronzer from Winky Lux that came out in this collection, and the scent was just too overwhelming. Not only as I was applying it, but I could even smell it on my face afterwards. And if you're not a big fan of the way coffee smells like I am, you're not gonna like that. I mean, I can definitely smell it from here. It's not too overwhelming, and I have tried it just a little bit on my eyes so far, and I thankfully couldn't smell it on my face after that, but I'm not kidding. Once I put the bronzer on, I could still smell coffee, which was kind of crazy. So like I said, I've just kind of casually dipped into this palette so far, nothing too serious. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a try. I am gonna pick up this first shade here. I did apply my concealer to my eyelids to act as my primer, so I'm just gonna go ahead and set down this white shade as a base using a Real Techniques Deluxe Concealer Brush. And since I did want to do my face first, I'm going to keep the eyes pretty simple. It's kind of like my go-to look. As of right now, I'm spending so much time outside and just like working up a sweat, walking with the dog, going to the park, and all that fun stuff. So I've been keeping the eyes pretty simple as of lately. And also, I think from just the few times that I've used it, the palette does get quite a bit of fallout, so I don't want to do anything like too crazy and have it all over my face. I don't know if you'd be able to see, even just from using that white shade, there is some fallout on the palette as well. So let's just go pretty typical here and get through this. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this shade. I'm gonna use the Stilazzi L216 blending brush. I am trying out Stilazzi brushes. They sent me a bunch of their brushes, which I'm always excited to try out new brushes. I'm just going to take that first color and just work it into the crease. That one's coming off really nicely pigmented. It looks like it's pretty easy to blend into the crease there, and I like that color. I am getting a lot of kick up in the palette with this shade, but so far on that first eye, I didn't notice any fallout on my face, so that's good. I'm just gonna take the shade A Road Down from that first one. I'm gonna use the Sigma E44. This has been like one of my favorite brushes as of lately. I feel like I'm grabbing for it a lot. So I'm just gonna kind of use that to darken up the outer part of the eye here. So again, this shade's going on very nicely as well, and no fallout on my face, so that's good. Are so good. I'm really liking how those shadows look. Nothing on my face. That's pretty nifty. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a shimmer, but I kind of, like, I'm really feeling like these coffee vibes. I almost, a lot of times I'll do like a light shimmer, but I almost kind of want to keep it just a little bit more on the latte side, if you will. I don't even know I don't know what a latte is. I don't really drink coffee. Go with this one right here. It looks to be kind of more of a satin, so we'll see how I like that one, and if need be, I'll add in the other shimmer. So I am just gonna get my brush damp. I'm gonna use the Sigma E20 short shader, and I'm just gonna apply that on like the middle and inner part of my eye. So I actually really like how it made the look. It's not, like I said, it's not a shimmer. It's kind of just more of a satin, but I feel like it deepened up the look, but nothing like too dark or too extreme. I actually really like the way that it kind of took this eye look. Ooh. I'm really happy with this palette right now. I was kind of skeptical going into it. Like I said, I just had kind of dabbled into it a little bit, mostly for like lower lash work and things like that, and I felt like I wasn't too impressed off the bat. So I'm really excited that I decided to grab it out for this tutorial, and you know, just give it another chance, just like with that Morphe palette. I did get just a little bit of fallout on my face from that last shade, so I'm just gonna go ahead and lightly dust that away. But that's pretty good, and it might be more because I was packing on the shadow versus just kind of like blending it out. Add eyeliner and also mascara, and then we'll come back to finish off the eyes and add some highlight. I added some brown liner from the Balm, and then I also put on the Lash Warrior mascara from Flower Beauty. This mascara is so freaking nice. I got it sent to me from Octoly. I requested it on my Octoly free store, and then I actually got a PR package from Flower Beauty, which I totally was not expecting, but I was very excited about it. And this mascara is so nice. I started trying it just a couple days before I left for my Oklahoma City trip, and this was the only mascara that I took with me. So that shows you how much faith I had in it, because I didn't even bring false lashes or anything. This is also at Ulta, so I will leave it linked down below. But other than that, I'm just going to go ahead and finish off my lower lash line. So I'm going to come back into the palette. I'm going to grab the Sigma pencil brush, the E30, and I'm just going to do a mixture of the two shades that I first blended out onto my lid. And as I'm doing this, there's like a lot of powder kick up, and I can tell it's like going into my eyes. And like I was saying, when I was first trying out this palette, it was for like lower lash work and inner corner and such. And I feel like that's probably what gave me the impression that I might not love it, but the powders are so smooth when you're just kind of blending them out, so I like it better that way. But I'm just going to kind of make sure that's all blended into the lower lash line and kind of meets the top of our eyelid work as well. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. I've been filming for over 2 hours at this point, so forgive me if I'm starting to lose it. I'm gonna grab my Morphe E36, just a small pencil brush, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of shimmer into my inner corner. I'm gonna grab this top middle shade here. I did spray my brush as well, just because like I said, I feel like as you're packing on shadows and such, I feel like it would help to have a damp brush to kind of help with the fallout and whatnot. I'm actually really feeling this eye look, so I'm happy about that. I know it's very plain and it's just your brown smoky eye, but I like the way it came out. I like the way that it's looking, and I'm liking that palette, so that's pretty good. Before I do my highlight, I'm going to spray my face. I've been doing this a lot. I feel like I've been testing out some more matte foundations, which is not the norm for me, but I feel like I've been spraying my face before I do highlight and then spraying my face again at the end. I feel like it's just helping give me extra hydration. It might just all be in my head, but that's okay. And I'm going to use the MAC Fix Plus in Lavender. This guy, I finished my other Fix Plus that I had in my 2018 Project Pan, and so I started using this one. It smells so freaking nice. So nice. To finish it off, I'm going to come back into the Morphe 8L palette. So I have already used this highlight right here, which is in Cosmic. So I think I'm going to go with, I don't know, let me swatch the highlights actually. Okay, so here are the highlights in here. I feel like this one's going to be too like yellow, and this one has like a purple shift to it that you don't necessarily see in the palette. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't think the first one would look the best on my particular skin tone. This one just is a little bit too on that purple side for me. I've used this one, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and try that third one, which is in Supernova. I'm going to use the Sigma F03, one of my favorite highlight brushes. Ooh, that's pretty. That has a bit of a shift in it as well. It has kind of like a pinky shift. I didn't notice that from the swatch that I did. It's very pretty though. I don't mind it. It's just, it's not quite, I don't know, it's not quite what I was expecting, and not necessarily what I always reach for when it comes to my highlight, but it's still very pretty and it's showing up very well. For my lip color, I'm just gonna apply some MAC HoneyLove and then the MAC lip gloss in Under the Sheets. It's one of my favorite combinations. I'm gonna spray my face one more time, and then we are done. Alrighty, so this is the final look that I came up with today, trying out some new makeup. So to run through everything real quickly, of course, the Milk Makeup, the Watermelon Brightening Serum, I'll for sure have to put into my skincare routine and see what I think over the next couple of weeks here, but so far, I liked it right off the bat. I liked the way it felt. It sunk into the skin fairly quickly, which was good. I don't know, I liked how cooling and how like my skin felt hydrated once I put it on, so I appreciate that with my dry skin. The CoverGirl, the Skin Smoothing Primer, it seemed like a pretty good primer. Again, I'm just gonna have to try it out a couple more times. Primers don't necessarily always get my juices flowing, but hey, you never know. Could be a favorite in the next couple weeks here. Now the CoverGirl foundations, like I said, I've been filming now for, we're about to hit the 3-hour mark, which is crazy. And I honestly still feel like my foundation looks really good. I feel like with everything applied, you know, I got my bronzer working, I got my highlight working now. I feel like my skin does look really nice, especially for a matte foundation, which I don't necessarily love. I feel like everything applied over the foundation very well. I didn't have any problems with the powders or the other liquids that I was putting on my skin. I'm really excited to see how it wears throughout the day. Again, I'll be back in a couple weeks to give full reviews on everything, and I will just be testing this foundation out, the best primers to use with it, the best way to apply it, and all of that good stuff. But off the bat, I'm actually pretty darn impressed with it. There's a lot of things I don't like about a matte foundation that it's not ruining it for me at this moment. So that's pretty good. So for 3 hours of wear, I feel like we're looking pretty good at the moment. So that has me excited. Again, I think this is a very exciting drugstore release. The Morphe 8L palette, I think it's a pretty good palette. Again, I just feel like the shades in here aren't, it's probably not going to be my most reached for face palette. You can see my messy desk. It's probably not going to be my most reached for face palette because not all of the shades will work for me. So that's kind of the hard part when you are buying a face palette, is it going to be worth it? So hopefully some of my swatches helped you out. Again, it's $25. You get a great packaging here, 8 different shades, the mirror and all of that. It's just really going to be personal preference, of course, when it comes to makeup, but keep testing it out, of course. The Winky Lux Coffee Palette actually has me pretty impressed. I'm really liking the eye look that I came up with. It's super simple, super basic, super me, and I enjoy that. But I was very impressed how everything went on, how everything blended. We'll see how it lasts throughout the day if I have any issues with fading or anything, but especially not having a lot of fallout on my face, I thought that was pretty darn good. And then the Kevyn Aucoin blush, I mean, like you saw, very pigmented. You can become a clown real quickly with these, but I'm a big fan of the face products from the brand, and I think I'm going to be impressed with these. Is a $38 blush or a $36 blush going to be totally worth it for you? You'll have to decide. I like these. I like these. I like the concept of them, and I think I'm gonna like that one. So that is it for today's video. One thing that I do want to say is that today's actually kind of an exciting day. My 6th book went for pre-order today on my website, which I'm very excited about. Next week's video is going to be a get ready with me, and next Friday, the 25th, is the release date for the book. So that video is going to be all about the book, the writing process. I want to take any questions you guys have about the book, writing a book, being a published author, the publishing process, anything like that. So if you're still here and you have any questions on that, please do leave them in the comments down below. I'll also do a call out for them on some other social media platforms, but next week's video is going to be a very exciting one, but it is available right now for pre-order for a signed paperback on my website. I will have that information listed down below, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I'm so glad she's finally here, and Christy is being released out into the world. So big day. Stay tuned for next week. I'm going to be really excited for that get ready with me video. But other than that, if you guys did enjoy this one, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.